Hello class, welcome to this awesome online resource called musictheory.net. You can just type in that address and you'll get right to it. I'll put some links on the side as well. So first of all, let's look at the home page here. I want to point out that there are two apps available made by this organization, and you do have to buy them, but they're not very expensive and they're both well worth it. The first one is Lessons, that teaches you about concepts, and the other one is more about exercises, Tenuto, and that gives you exercises helping you drill, practicing, identifying intervals, chords, key signatures, things like that. And they're both great, but if you have to choose one, I would go with this one because you really need to practice with exercises the most. Okay. Now all these exercises are available for free on your computer. So the reason to get the app, of course, is to make use of time when you're not with your computer. Like, it's a great way to practice on the T, when you're commuting to school, waiting in line at a bank, those kinds of things. It's amazing the difference it can make when you can get an extra 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of practice in, maybe more. So highly recommend it. Okay, but now let's look what's available free on your computer. There's lessons about concepts, so anytime you need a refresher. Some of the ways that things are represented on this program might differ slightly from Berklee. Like, for example, they use small letters to indicate minor keys and so on. But the differences aren't that much, and mostly it's going to be really useful for you. But the main thing I wanted to point out in this video are the exercises. This is where you can drill, you can practice, and it's sort of like a game, and it's kind of fun, and you hopefully will get kind of involved in it, and you won't even think of it as a chore. There's lots of them, different things here, but I'm going to zero in on these up here. Note identification is self-explanatory. They put a note up on the screen and you have to identify what it is. Key signature identification, interval identification, and chord identification. In this video, I'm going to focus on these two, but you should definitely check out the others. Okay, key signature identification. Now the key thing to remember about, I'm going to reset this here. The key thing to remember about this is that it's quite customizable. All right, so let's look at the customizableness of it first. You can see there's this screen. It's asking you what the key signature is. There's a timer going. It's going to keep a track of your attempts and everything. Let's take a look at how we can do this. If I go ahead and choose the correct answer, it turns green and it immediately changes to another key signature, and notice it changed clef. Okay? Let's take a look at how we can customize this. This is the cool customize button right here. So I'm going to click on that. And here's all the things you can do. You can choose how many clefs you're being quizzed on. So if you're really familiar with treble clef but not very familiar with bass clef and you want to build your confidence, you might start with just treble clef. And then as soon as you're getting pretty good at treble clef, add in bass clef there. Or if you're really good at both and get used to looking at both at the same time, you could choose grand staff. That's where it shows both at the same time. So I'm going to do both these for now, okay? So I click, I've got that, that's customized now. So when I do an answer, you'll notice that it will start shifting between bass and treble clef. Okay, now let's go look at another customizable thing. Key signatures, how many? Well, if it doesn't say all, you should choose all. Like when you log in, it might not have some of these selected, some of these keys with more sharps or flats. But you want those all selected, so make sure you select all of those because we're learning all the key signatures. All right, then note names, letters, just leave it at letters. And then minor mode, well currently it's only going to be quizzing you on major keys. But once you get really good at major keys, you should definitely click this, and then it will it will quiz you on minor keys only. Now here's one thing where the thing is a little different from Berklee. It indicates minor keys with a small letter. In Berklee, we use a capital letter with a minus sign after it. But just as long as you know that, so right now it's asking you for the answer to this question, and there's going to be a small letter because it's only minor keys right now, okay? And so most people, the way they do it is they've got really good at their major keys, and they can tell that this is C sharp major, and they know it's C sharp major, and then they figure out the relative minor. A sharp minor is the relative minor, and they click on that. Okay, so that's minor keys. But I'm going to put it back to major again for now. And then the next question, this is important. How soon do you want the next question? Well, if you want it immediately, that's for when you're really just practicing getting as fast as possible. So like we're back to major keys now, and you're already pretty confident, so you're like, okay, I'm going to go as fast as I can. and maybe you've got your timer going, so maybe you want to reset the score and just see how many you can do in a minute or something like that. So you go like, okay, quick, there's that answer, you find it, and you go to the next one, go as fast as you can, and it's just going right along really, really fast, and you're just seeing how good you are, right? That's a good setting for that kind of practice. But if you're still newer to it and you're struggling a bit, then I would suggest this other mode, which is after click or tap. So what this is like is you go, you get the thing, and it's still timing you, but you're thinking about it, and you figure it out, and you'll eventually figure out, okay, E major, and then it tells you you're right with the green thing, and then it doesn't go on to the next one. It stops the clock, so you can sort of contemplate about why you were right, or if you were wrong, you can contemplate why you're wrong and look for the next answer. And then when you're ready, you click on that again, and it gives you the next one, and you think about that. Now here's what happens if you're wrong. So we all know that's D major, but I'm going to say the wrong answer on purpose, so I'm going to say C, right? And look what happens. It's red, so that shows you that you're wrong. And the clock keeps going because you want to know how long it took you to get the right answer. So you're thinking about, oh yeah, it's a sharp key, it's the last sharp is a half step below the root, that's a C sharp. And you say, oh yeah, it's D, okay. And then now you've got the right answer, you saw what your wrong answer was, and now you click again, you get the next one. Okay, now you carry on with this one, get that one right. Then you think about that. Okay, stop the clock because you were right. Now we can click for the next one. Okay, now check out this one. Here's one more feature. You're doing this, you know it's a sharp key. Maybe you're struggling with this, but you remember that the last sharp is a half step below the root. So you identify that last sharp, and you just, oh, it's a B sharp. Well, wait a minute, what's B sharp? So you say, I'm not quite sure. So you click on this keyboard here, and you can check it. So you say, what's B sharp? Well, there's B. So this must be B sharp. And so that's a half step below this note. So this must be C sharp. So this must be the key of C sharp major. And then you click, and bingo, you're right. Okay, so that's an overview of all the features of this great exercise tool for key signatures. I would recommend that you pause the video here and go online and start practicing a little bit. And then after you've done that for a few minutes, come back to the video and watch the next segment, which is on the interval identification part of the exercise. Okay, we're back. We're going to interval identification. Click there and click on that. Now this is also customizable, so let's look at the customizable features here first. So here's that custom button. So how many different clefs you want to use. If you're really familiar with one clef and you want to build confidence, you could start with just that clef, but pretty soon you should make sure you include all clefs, both bass and treble. The range, you could, covering, you should definitely include some ledger lines, so this is a decent range to start with, and then of course you can always increase it later by going like that, practicing high ledger lines. Okay, so that's good to be aware of. I'd say eventually for Matt, you should be really comfortable on treble clef going down to there and treble clef going up to there. That's sort of the practical range of the guitar, for example. Okay, back to here. Key signatures, you want to choose all. You definitely want to require the quality of the interval, whether it's major, minor, perfect, augmented, or diminished. So if that's not clicked, you should definitely click that. You want to have all the types of intervals. Now that includes some weird ones like diminished thirds and things like that, but I think you have to get used to them all, so you might as well have them all. Compound mode, that's for when you are doing intervals greater than an octave. We will be doing that soon. We haven't done that yet in this class, but as soon as we've done that, you should come back here and change that to say yes, we're including compound intervals, but for now we won't. The difficulty level, now this is important. Click on that. Now at level 1, we don't have any accidentals, so what that means is the interval will be entirely within a key. So this is a good place to start to build your confidence. But once you're getting pretty good at this, don't delay too long and then go to level 2, and that's where you will have some accidentals. Then level 3 you'll have even more and more, and it'll finally get really complicated and you'll have double sharps and double flats and stuff like that. Let's take a look at level 1 for a minute. So we'll keep it on level 1 for now. Next question, after audio. And right now that means after you get after you've said your answer, it will play the audio of the interval, what it sounds like. It won't give you the next question until that's happened. You can also do, like with the other one, you can have it after clicker tap, so that means that it won't give you the next answer until you've had a minute to pause and think about it. And then you can do immediately if you're practicing your speed. Okay, let's do after audio right now. Okay, so right now, don't forget we're on level 1, and don't forget about your keyboard that you have available here if you want to check things. So here we're in the key of, hopefully you can quickly see that we're in the key of, remember second to last flat is the name of the key, so we're the key of E flat. And then we look at the intervals, so we've got an F to a E flat, right? F to E flat, all right? And so there's many different ways to figure out intervals. We talked about them a lot in class, but the first thing you're going to figure out is that it's a seventh. And then you're going to say, what kind of seventh? Well, how far below the octave is it? 2/2 steps below the octave, it's a minor seventh. So then you come down here, and the way they indicate minor is a small m, and you look for minor 7 and you say that. And then it plays the answer, which is cool. Okay, and then it gives you the next question. And or if you had set it to click after click, it wouldn't give you the next answer until you clicked. Okay, so that's it. That's how it works. And you can practice your intervals, and you can keep track of how many you got wrong or right. You can reveal the answer if you're really stuck, and then you can click a new question. If you're getting too many of the same ones that you've done a lot of, you can click that. All right, that's it for interval identification practice. And because of the customizable nature of it, you can make it challenging for your level. You can make it at a level that is appropriate to your experience up to now, but make sure that after you're getting really good at your certain level you're on, then you move to a higher level, make things a little harder for yourself. Okay, so I'm asking you all to log on and experiment with at least these 2 exercises, and then to seriously consider buying the app, the practice app, which is Tenuto, and the other one if you want, and we'll go over it in class as well. Okay, that's it for now.